Hey folks, John from Alternate Arms, your friend in less than lethal self-defense. All right guys, before we get into this, and I know you've been waiting on it, this video is going to be packed with cool information. And I mean that literally. The first thing I'm going to announce, you're hearing it first right now. The first shipment of reinforced HDP 50 valves are on their way. I should have them by the end of the week. So, I know, you guys are all rushing. I can actually see Bruce Almighty pounding out on the keyboard. So, I ordered 100 of them, guys. We're not going to run out, okay? Send me an email if you guys would like one of the new reinforced, that is the threaded, Loctited and crimped, the whole thing, the new valves for the HDP 50. If you don't know what that is, essentially it is going to be it's better than the crimped version. They don't just blow out the bottom and you don't have to worry about over tightening and then breaking the crimp. But also it's a full power drop-in mod and it really is worth doing. And everybody out there that's done it, you guys can go ahead and post down there exactly what it does. Yeah. But you see what's on the table, right? Oh boy, have I got plans. Here we go. All right, guys, so you knew this was coming. Salt Supply knew this was coming. Byrna knew this was coming. Oh, and it's coming right now. Before I do this, guys, I want to let you guys know, inside, a lot of you guys have already started to receive your Salt Supply S2s, and you've received a short metal pin that is called a decocker pin. And I'm going to show you guys what that's for here at the end of this video. So stay tuned with me while we go through all this testing, and then I'm going to explain to you what that little pin is for. It's very easy to do, but it's something that might be a little confusing if you've never tried. So stay with me. End of the video, we'll show you the decocker pin and how to use it. But today, here's what we're going to do, guys. Now, you know, everybody here, and guys, let's just for grins and giggles, let's crack open the Salt Supply for you one more time and give you a view of that baby. You cannot tell me that the packaging is not dead on. I still want to know what goes in the little slot right there. Yeah, but I don't know. But anyway, definitely some of the best packaging I've ever seen. Solid as a rock. However, you may be wondering which Byrna have I chosen to test this against. Well, you know it's not the SDXL because it's sitting up here. And it's not the HD and it's because it's down there. And it's not the EP because they don't make them anymore. So why test against an EP, right? No, I decided if we're going to do this, we're going to go with the daddy. So we're going to test this against the Byrna LE. Guys, once again, amazing packaging. Well, then again, Byrna always has amazing packaging. You guys know that. But we're going to test these two against each other. Guys, I know what a lot of you are going to say. You're going to say that can't be a fair test because the Byrna LE fires so much harder. Maybe. But there are other considerations and factors here, which we do want to look at and see if the extra money is definitely worth it or which way you'd want to go on this thing. So, without further ado, let's take a look at what we got. All right, so I'm going to move the packaging aside here, guys. We went through all of the unboxing and all of the testing on both of these launchers in other videos, and you guys can certainly watch those if you want to. Now, comparing them side by side here, as you can see, they're dimensionally pretty darn close. I will tell you that the Salt Supply is a little bit longer as far as the front goes, and a little bit longer on the handle. When you put them on top of each other, you can actually see that the handle does extend a little bit down below here. And the front, you can see, it's almost like having an extra XL unit on top of the XL unit. That's how much longer it is, okay? The grip. Okay, Byrna grip is always good, guys, but it is blocky. I mean, if you like the Byrna grip, you like the Byrna grip. There's no way around that. You guys can see how that fits in my hand. The Salt Supply, especially with this funky texturing, guys, I love that texturing, is a big gun, and it feels really, really good in your hand. And this might be because of the sweep of the grip, how it sweeps back a little bit, as opposed to the Byrna going straight down. The Byrna does have rubber all the way around it, though. I do like that. Even without this texture on here, it's got a good grip to it, so that's nice too. As you can see on the salt supply here, you've got fire and safe. You've got, this is where your CO2 will go, where you will actually puncture the CO2. And the magazine is very unique. You have to put it on safety, push this small button on the right-hand side, and the magazine will pop out the front. Now, a lot of people were asking about these magazines. I can see there being advantages and disadvantages to this particular loading style. One of the advantages, they're very light, and it would be very easy to keep multiple of this little magazine inside your pouch or carry bag or whatever, preloaded and ready to go. And if you're in a situation where you need to use it, you can pop them in and out very, very quickly. I mean, you can see how that can become second nature to you. But generally speaking, you're not going to get more than 2 full magazines out of this thing on absolute full power anyway, kind of like the Byrna. Now, the Byrna, on the other hand, push a button actually does have a drop-down magazine. This is the 7-round magazine. So on the 7-round magazine, it is a staggered magazine on this thing. So when you load it in there, they don't exactly stagger evenly to it, just kind of compresses that spring down and kind of they fall where they do. So this magazine will hold 7, whereas the salt supply will hold 6. It'll hold 5 in the magazine, and you can hot load one up into the detent up there, and then put one more round in for a total of 6. So you get one more shot with the Byrna, but once again, you're not going to get more than a couple magazines out of this, especially this one, and and still get that kind of power. Now, cost, I can tell you that the magazines for the salt supply are less expensive than the magazines for the Byrna. There's a lot less material to it, so that kind of makes sense that there would be. So, all right. On the Byrna, you've got your fire and your safety right here. Now, we've discussed this before. When it comes to the salt supply, once you puncture this and put it on fire, that's it. It is ready to rock and roll. On the LE, now this is something on the LE, and we're going to test this after being punctured. But if you have it on safety, and then you pull the trigger, the first time you pull the trigger, it's going to charge the launcher up to full power. Then if you put it on fire, your first round will come out at full velocity. If you have this on fire and pull the trigger the first time with a CO2 cartridge in here, it will send the round down range, but at half the velocity of the next round, because it punctures and fires at the same time, so the CO2 doesn't really have time to build up. With this, you don't have that option. With the salt supply, once you hit this, all that CO2 is in there and it's ready to go. Plain and simple. There's not too much to it. As far as sights, you guys can see that on the salt supply, you've got fixed sights. So there's not a whole lot you can do with the sights, but you do have a very nice Picatinny rail to mount lasers, lights, or whatever else you want to. Pretty nice. Now, if you look at the Byrna, same deal. You've got fixed sights on there, and you've got a smaller Picatinny rail, but once again, lasers, lights, not a problem. So they can both mount the same kind of hardware. All right, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to test these out. Now, all right, look, I'm going to make one of them or both of them mad at me. Ideally, if we were testing salt supply, we would be using salt supply ammo, right? If we were testing Byrna, we would be using Byrna ammo. But we live in the real world, and we also know that a lot of people out there are going to go out there and they're going to get their own ammo wherever they can, including Amazon, right? Because that's where they're going to go. So what we're going to test with today are 68 caliber Rhodamine. That's the color. Thank you for someone who pointed that out. Rhodamine rounds. Pretty straightforward. These are nylon riot balls. Now these are going to weigh in. Take a look at that. I wanted to do this, guys, because yes, you can buy the ammo from each individual manufacturer if you want to, but we all know that you can get ammo anywhere. So as long as it will fit both launchers and will work through it, PavaShot is definitely one of the changes to that. You cannot run Byrna ammo through PavaShot because the bore is a tiny bit smaller, so don't try that. But, all right, so we're zeroed out on here. Okay, these are coming in at 3.65 grams, and I'm going to check the next one. 3.64 grams, checking one more, 3.64 grams. So 3.65 grams is what we're going to be testing with. Obviously, you can fire heavier. We've seen it happen. And you can certainly fire lighter because pepper balls do typically come in a little bit lighter than that, but it just depends on which pepper ball. Somebody was asking me about that. So these are I think I've got the Mace branded pepper balls. Yeah, let me show you the weight difference here. Hold on. Yeah, here they are. So the Mace branded pepper balls, child caps, gotta love them. They weigh in at 3.35 grams. So those are actually a little bit lighter than what we're going to be firing here. But yeah, Pepper balls do always come in a little bit lighter. Now, there are some, y'all saw that video from SHOT Show, right? Where Umarex is starting to insert steel bearings in the center of their pepper balls. I'm not going to say anything. I want to see what kind of flight pattern we're getting, if that bearing on one side is going to throw around into a tizzy, or what's going to happen. But it is going to add weight, so I am curious about that. So, we got our, 3.65 gram nylon balls. We got both our launchers. I'm going to go ahead and charge them both up, and we're going to head out to the range. Here we go. Okay, guys, so as you can see, we're out on our range down here, and there's two Scullies down there. Now, we're not actually going to pop Scully right now. We're going to pop him in a minute, but not yet. Right now, you might also notice I had to reinforce my backboard. We had done some testing with a couple of the launchers that were modified, and I literally blew a hole through that and started putting big old holes in my wall, so I decided probably better to go ahead and reinforce that. So, we're going to go ahead and start with the Byrna LE, guys, all right? So, I've got a magazine fully loaded. Hang on a second here. With 7 rounds right here. And we're going to go ahead and insert. I have one CO2 cartridge currently in there right now. I'm going to get back behind the camera. I'm going to move you guys up on the FPS meter. We're just trying to get some FPS readings right off the bat, guys. And then we will go from there. All right, putting on some glasses. There we go. Okay, so we're going to test this if it was like live after it had been charged. We want it to be just the same. So we're going to go ahead and charge the launcher. And as you heard that charged, everything snapped in, and we're going to put it on fire. All right, guys, let me see if I can get us a couple of good FPS readings. Hold on one second here. 387. 333. 319. 304. 292. 281. And 283, and we should be out. Yes, we are. Okay, I am not going to fire the next round, and I'll tell you why in just a second. All right, glasses off. Let's take a look at what kind of damage we got here. So, we were in that 380 to 280 range. Oh, my God. Guys, look. Particle board. This is thick stuff. Look. No wonder I keep putting holes through my wall. You guys are a bad influence on me. All right. Let me put this back up here. Oh, yeah, and it went all the way through to the wall. Oh, all right. Tell you, I am talking to a company, guys. I meant to mention this to you, from a Target manufacturer that's got one of those that flips around. I'm working on trying to get one of those in here for the channel. They may be watching tonight. So if you guys want to see something like that, let them know, because I think I'd love to have that. All right. Let's go ahead and get our salt supply now. We've got one CO2 in here. I've got one of our magazines loaded in here with 5 rounds, and then I have a 6th in there, so I hot loaded. So we have 6 rounds in here. All right, whoop, let me get the FPS meter here. And I am going to reset this. I don't want there to be any question of what readings are whose. Hang on one second here. All right. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the launcher on. Right now we're on safety, okay? I'm going to charge it on safe, all right? Honestly, I don't think it matters. You know what? I've never tried that. Let's charge it on fire. So there we are. We're on fire right now. We're going to charge the launcher. All right, we're charged up and ready. So here we go. First round. God dang, that's loud. Guys, you don't know how loud that is. All right, 336, 322, 309, 303, 297, 283. Actually, was that 6? I think that was 6. So let me make sure, because I don't want to fire it. Yeah, that was it. That was the 6th round. Okay. Hang on a sec. Glasses off. Let's go down here and see what we did. All right, so why do I... No movie magic. Ta-da! Dude, this stuff, this is hard. I mean, that is some seriously hard board. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I think I'm going to have to redesign my you know, it's funny. Back in the old days when I started this channel, they weren't quite that powerful. They've gotten kind of brutal now. All right, let's get the FPS meter out of the way. And now it's time to bring Scully into the mix. I know, y'all thought we were going to give Scully a break, but we're not. Hang on. I'm going to move you up here. And let's start off. Now, right now, remember, we have currently fired a full round, or through magazine, through both of them. So, I'm going to put Scully up right there. This, by the way, guys, is intentionally a light Scully. This is printed at 5%, or no, actually 10%. Yeah, this is a 10% infill. If you guys want these, I do have them in multiple. The only reason I'm doing this one is because they're inexpensive, and I know what it's going to do to this Scully. You just saw it blow a hole through the back of my target, but that's assuming I can hit him. We're going to fire from the same distance. So you guys saw where we were. We're going to be firing at, let's pace it off. Hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So we're going to be 7 paces back, coming back up. We've got the same CO2 in here. So this is seamless, guys. The same CO2 cartridge, but this is the 5-round magazine from Byrna, okay? I did that because the other magazine only had 5 rounds anyway, all right? So we're going to go ahead, 5 rounds, and I am going to get back here, and let's see if we can put a hurting on Scully. Here we go. Did that hit him right between the eyes? You know what? I'm going to try something. I'm going to go right next to it. How about to the right? Am I hitting it? I really can't tell from back here, guys. Hang on. That's 5 rounds. Okay, so let me come back up. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we hit Scully. Oh, guys, 10% infill. See? Can you see my eye? Look here. All the way through. I expected nothing less from the Byrna. I mean, seriously, the LE's a badass launcher. Now, golly, that literally went straight through it, all the way through. All right, same deal. We're going to do the same Scully, exact same infill. These are lighter, exact same infill. These are really not designed for impact and stopping tests. This is all about what can it do. So hang on a second here. Let's grab our salt supply. Once again, just to show you guys, here's our salt supply. We've got our 5 rounds in here. Now, I'm not going to hot load one, so we have the exact same 5 rounds here. So technically, the Byrna has fired 1 extra shot. Okay, so we're on safety right now. We're going to slide this in. And by the way, when I heard it go clunk and actually lock one into the detent. All right, backing up. And here we go. Can I hit Scully? You know what? I'm going to try. Remember the last time we did? You know what? Let me try forehead first. Hold on. God, this thing is so... All right, hold on. I got to come here. All right, glasses off. Holy cow. What did I do to Scully? I'm not even going to show you guys that. You know what? No. How many shots was that? 3. I got 2 more shots. I'm going to try eye. Hang on a second here. Glasses on, going for the left eye. Oh, that was terrible. I doubled. And I think I'm out. Yep, I'm out. All right, see? You get to see it live with me. All right, coming up. Okay, yeah, that one actually was pretty brutal. What the heck? Okay, guys, hold on. Make sure the camera's on. Can you see me? And actually, guys, I'm just saying, these went clean through. And I mean, look, all the way through. You can see me right there, all the way through. See that? So, all the way through. Hopefully you can see through there. This one went all the way through also, but lodged in the very back. This one went completely through, and it's not even in there. It went completely through it. That could have been the angle. Now, I will tell you, well, you know what? Let's go back in here. There was something I just discovered that you're going to want to know. Let's go back in the office. Here we go. All right. I am not the one to tell you which one you would like. And I say that for a reason. I find no fault in either one of them. They both have really, really good pluses and minuses. The magazine situation, okay, I would probably lean toward the Byrna situation for the magazine until you get used to this loading. Once you're used to the salt supply loading, it's actually very, very fast. I mean, it's spring loaded to the point there that if you had this on safety, you could literally, if you were on an angle, pop this thing out just like that and then pop in a new mag. So it would become very second nature. You would just need to practice with it. As far as damage, guys, you saw what it did. You saw it with your own eyes, what it did to Scully. They are both printed equally, so if they are equal, you're getting equal results. That's the whole idea here. The Byrna, this is just louder than the Byrna. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I fired the LE. This is a much, much louder, well, I don't mean much, probably 20% louder. You know when you fire this thing. I had one of my vendors was in another part of the building. He came back over and he goes, "Hey, are you shooting again?" I was like, "Yeah," because he heard this thing fire. But it's worth it. It really is. It's the sound really gives it a little bit of impact, a little oomph, if you will. As far as the degassing, okay, I got to give this to Salt Supply all the way, because when you run out of ammo, or not ammo, but when you run out of air and you want to try to degas it on the Byrna, you unscrew that front cap and you can let it kind of peel out. And you can pull the trigger until it stops, but even then, you wait a second, it bubbles back up, you got to fire again. Wait a second, it bubbles back up, fire again, so on and so forth. Then you unscrew the front right here using the cotter pin that's installed here, just like that, and you unscrew it, it will gas out, and then you can install your next cartridge. Whereas on the Salt Supply, you just turn this knob. All there is to it. That degasses it. Now, that brings me to the one thing, remember we talked about why the little metal pin was installed inside the kits that are going out with this model of the Salt Supply. Let me show you why. On the Byrna, if you've got one round in, and I will grab one of these Rhodamines to demonstrate this to you. They are not live, guys. By the way, hey, YouTube, these are not firearms. Just making sure you didn't forget that. Anyway, so one round in, correct? We're going to slide this up in here. Now, when it's up in there, you can drop the magazine. The ball is gone. It is actually, and if you look over Stumpy here, it's locked into the detent in there. You see that? To get it out, you push this button right here. That button is the equivalent of that decocker. Let me show you what I mean. So we're going to go ahead and put the magazine back in that. Now, for the Salt Supply, it's a little bit different. Let me show you. So if you bring out your magazine, okay, so you have to be on safe to eject the magazine. We're going to eject the magazine. And I'm going to put in 2 rounds. Now, with Byrna, what happens is, and you've seen this on the videos, it's hilarious. If you got multiple rounds in there, one is locked up in the detent, but when you drop that mag, inevitably 1 or 2 balls come spilling out the bottom of it. So in this case, you don't have that problem, but what you do get is, so right now, and I'll show Stumpy here, we've got 2 rounds loaded. Put the magazine in, and we're going to go ahead and put it on fire, okay? Now, if you eject that magazine, see what it did? It locked up. The magazine locks into place. You can't pull it out, so you have to push it back in. You cannot eject that round. So what the decocker does, and if you put it on safety right now, you can actually eject it. But what the decocker does is you've got a ball in the detent. It's being locked in there. So let's put the magazine in. As you can see, we've got 1 round. You see that? So we're on safety right now. We're going to take the decocker, which I don't have a decocker. All I have is this little pin, but I'm going to show you anyway. Take this and push it down. Hear that? That pushes the round down into the magazine. So watch. You push the round down into the magazine, and then you release the mag. Now watch this. Take out your decocker, and both your rounds are in there. All right, so basically it's a detent release, exactly like you have on the Byrna. It's just that to release it from that detent, you pop that down and get it out of there. That's all you have to do. They're talking about, we'll just do it one more time to make sure. So you got 2, okay? Pop it in, right? We're on safety still. I'm going to bring the mag out. We have 1. So we know we got 1 locked in the detent there, okay? We're going to put it back in. We're going to push this down, push the round in, and eject it. And now, take out your pin, and you've got 2. Just like that. That's what it is. It's called a decocker. I don't know if they're addressing that in the future. I seem to remember him mentioning something about that, but it's not that difficult, guys. And honestly, when you fire it, you're going to fire it all your rounds anyway, so I wouldn't worry. The only time that would ever even really be an issue is if maybe you accidentally tried to eject it on fire, but even then you just push it back into the front and you're ready to go again, so it's not that big of a deal. But that is what the little metal pin is for, so people were asking about that. All right, which one is better? Okay, we are not going to play a game of better here, and I'll tell you why we're not going to play a game of better. These, while they are equivalent in power, and you saw that, guys, they're not equivalent in price. So each one of them has, I mean, this is a $300 launcher, $299. And you know that the LEs are going to run in that 500 range. And then there are other options for that too. There is a build quality difference. You can feel the difference in the build quality. These are built like bricks. These are very elegant. You can tell that they're very elegant. If the LE had built in the XL adapter on the front and just made this one unit, it would look a whole lot like this as far as visually. But the truth is, you can't go wrong with either one. If you're going to spend a little bit extra money, you can go this route. Then you'll have your extra changeable magazines, which is fine. If you go this way, you're going to save yourself a couple $100. You just have to retrain yourself on those magazines. That's really the biggest part of this difference, is that magazine and how you gas that thing up. So, you know, a lot of people were saying, well, they don't like the pressure thing down here, because when they see it there, it doesn't look like a gun. But that really isn't that big of a deal. We already have people out there that are working on mechanisms to cover up that insert. And I even saw one guy that was talking about developing a rubber overlay for the entire grip, so that it would just look like an extended magazine down there, which I think is going to look freaking beautiful when it comes out. And I will be ordering one for myself, I can tell you that. But guys, I hope you like this. Honestly, I know these are going to be the Titans in the near future. Yes, I know we have the Saber, and yes, it is on the way. It's supposed to be here hopefully tomorrow, and I'll get that video shot too. But I have a feeling that these are going to be the two big boys that are going to be duking it out in the near future. I would say Grimberg, but I don't have a Grimberg to test yet. Just kidding. Hey, have a great week, guys. There will be more videos this week, and then I'm pre-recording for the next 2 weeks because I'm going to be out of town. But I'll let you know about that as we get a little closer. Have a great week. Bye-bye.